Good evening, everyone, and welcome to tonight's episode of Ask Leah, coming to you from a household where people are meant to be going to bed and not. So let's see how we go tonight. Good news, pen lovers. For people who have been to my workshops, will appreciate the pens that I bring in the show bags. It is an ongoing joke, although I get that a lot of people aren't joking. People love my pens. The pens that I have branded for my business are hugely popular because they do have a highlighter on the end. And the good news is I did get another pen delivery today. And pen lovers, we have two colors, yellow and pink highlighters. And the cool new branding, which you can dodgy see there, they are Leah Ep21 pens. I have my name on pens. I have a lot of pens, so they will be there in your show bags if you come along to my workshop. Now, those of you who haven't been before are like, geez, she's really banging on about pens. However, just wait for the comments tonight. There are people who swear they only come to the workshops for the pens. I really do hope they're joking about that one. All right. Tonight, what are we talking about? Couple of different things. We're going to talk performance reviews for a little bit, but we're also going to talk about a form of communication that doesn't involve words. Now, we might start off there tonight, actually. Communication, when we think of communication, a lot of us think about speaking, and obviously that is a lot to do with communication. Big part of communication is also listening, although that's not what we're talking about tonight either. Tone of voice has a huge impact on the way you communicate and how it's perceived, as does body language. And the next part that has a big impact on communication is what you're wearing. Your clothes, they communicate a message too. So tonight, obviously, I am in a more casual get-up. Usually I'm in one of my dresses. Anyone who's seen me present knows I will always wear a wrap dress when I present. It is essentially my uniform. Now, what I want you to understand is that what you wear and the way you present does communicate a message. Now, let me be clear. I am not saying you have to dress a certain way or present like a lemming. It's not about conformity. It's not saying you can't have your individuality or your flair or your style, because I personally love all of that. I love individual style. However, it is really important to have that understanding that what you wear does communicate something, whether you like it or not. Now, the example I often give when I talk about this in my workshops, and in my workshops, I will always have one of those wrap dresses on, and I wear them for a few reasons. One, because they're incredibly comfortable, and when I present in a wrap dress, I don't have to think about what I'm wearing. I don't have to suck my tummy in. I don't have to go, oh, is everything in the right spot? No, I know they're beautiful dresses. For anyone wondering, they're from By Samantha, Melbourne. Awesome brand, small business, woman out there being a rock star with her own label. I wear them because they're comfortable, but also they convey the message that I want to convey when I'm presenting, and that is that I am professional, yet I'm approachable and relatable. Now, if I was standing in front of you, I could be presenting, say, the workshop that I've got coming up next week in Warragul, which is Effective Communication, Developing Assertiveness. Hi to everyone who is on tonight. So I can be there at that workshop, right? And what I wear will have an impact on how people take it. So if I turned up to an assertiveness workshop in my gym clothes, with my cap on, my racerback singlet, my leggings, my sweatband on my wrist, and my runners, I could present the exact same workshop, right? But before I had even started, people would have made judgment about my professionalism based on my clothing. Is it fair? Is it right? No, it's not. But is it what happens? Absolutely. Okay, I'm the same person, I could present it the same way, but straight away, particularly those, if an organization had sent people, invested a lot of money to come to a workshop for training, and they see someone roll in their workout gear, does this person even know communication? This is meant to be professional development training. Who is this person? Okay. So straight away, the way I present communicates a message. I could go the other way too far as well. If I turned up to an assertiveness workshop in my super high spiky stilettos, in a power suit, with my hair slicked back within an inch of its life, bobby pins everywhere, and said, right, folks, welcome to Effective Communication Developing Assertiveness, half the audience would be going, what sort of assertiveness training is this? Is this really what I signed up for? Okay, so we communicate a message. So that's why I wear what I do to my workshops, because I want to look professional but relatable. Okay, so what I want you to do is think about the way you present. Does it matter all the time? No. Hell, I like mucking around in my tracky dacks too, and anyone who's watching who sees me at school pickup will know I am not always presenting professionally, which is absolutely fine. But when I am trying to communicate a certain message, I make sure my dress, what I'm wearing matches it. So think about this. I often get asked this question by people I do job interview coaching with. And they say, what should I wear to a job interview? And there's no one right answer to this, because it does depend what sort of job you're going for. The general rule with a job interview is one level higher than what you'd wear in the job. So if you are going for a job interview in somewhere, in a mine or somewhere in a trade, then you might wear, usually you would wear some form of slacks, but you might get away with your fancy pants jeans. Not usually. I'd still usually probably wear slacks, but sometimes you can. But with a collared shirt, for example, you wouldn't wear a tie. You wouldn't wear a suit jacket, okay? The reason you wouldn't do that for a trade or a mine job is because the decision that they're making when they interview you is not just, do you have the right experience? It's, are you the right person for this job? Would you fit in? And if you're there in your full three-piece suit, they're thinking, you know what, this guy, I don't think is going to fit in with our culture here or our people. And that's a big part of the decision. You are not an island, okay? By the same token, I have had someone very seriously ask me once, well, can't I just wear my scudgy jeans and a flannny shirt to the job interview? It is in a mine. Like, it's a mine job. We wear high vis in there and jeans. Why would I dress up in anything else? And, this poor bugger was very serious. He couldn't understand why you would dress any differently. And I had that conversation with him where I said, you know what? It shouldn't matter, but it does. And this is about, you're going for a job interview. You want to show that you respect the people that you're interviewing for and the company that you're going for. So you're going one level above. You might still get away with your really nice jeans if you're glued onto them, but question, but maybe you would, but you'd still have just an open collar shirt, okay, to show that you're professional. So please remember, folks, it's not just about what you say, it is about what you wear too. Hi, Kim, Kate, Jace, Kaz, Hannah, Tanya, and Caitlin. Okay, so yesterday I delivered a new workshop and I'm really excited about this one. I'm going to be rolling it out across organizations soon. And it's called Address the Elephant: How to Deliver Feedback in Performance Reviews and Continue Conversations All Year Round. Now, for a lot of organizations, it is performance review time right now. So in this workshop that I delivered yesterday, I spoke through lots of tips and examples for how to have difficult conversations, how to address, feedback in a performance review. However, it wasn't just all about feedback in a performance review. Because I firmly believe, and I said this yesterday to the group of about 60 people who were in the room, no one should find out that they are not performing for the first time in a performance review. Let me repeat that. No one should find out that they are not performing for the first time in a performance review. Yet this happens all the time. And it happens because, unfortunately, we have leaders who don't have great communication skills or who have not been taught how to have a difficult conversation. So they save it up. They don't give feedback throughout the year. They save it up, and then it's performance review time. And unfortunately, this can be the first time someone walks into the room thinking, geez, I think I'm on track. I think I'm doing a pretty good job. I haven't heard otherwise. They sit down and then, bam, they get hit over the head with news that their performance isn't up to scratch. That's not fair. It is so not fair. And the reason it's not fair is because there should have been conversations right away in the lead up to this. I know it doesn't always happen. And for those of you who have to deliver difficult feedback in a performance review, I can talk you through the skills on how to do that too, and the tips and the strategies. But if you take nothing else from tonight, take this. You need to have conversations early. Okay, you need to address issues when they are issues that are small and uncomfortable before they grow into massive conflict that is a huge issue, that is a really tricky conversation, and it shouldn't happen in a performance review. The performance review should be the summary of what the person already knows. If they know they're not performing because they've had those conversations with you all year, and then this is really the culmination of that. Okay, so you're not getting the score that you wanted for the reasons that you've discussed before. Okay, so have conversations early, people. It's so, so important. And when you do have the conversations, and this goes for any of you, any conversation that you need to have with someone about their performance or their behavior, even if you're going for a new job, okay, anytime you're communicating a message because you want something or you want behavior to change, it is so important that you have facts and specific examples to back up what you're saying. It is not okay just to say to someone, you're too aggressive. Your performance isn't up to scratch. You're misbehaving. Okay? These general statements don't mean much. You need to give people specific examples. You need to say, for example, the other day when you spoke to Jenny like that, you know, and talk it through. So this means you have to do the thinking first, folks. And I say that all the time. It's one of the game changers for communication. Stop, step back. What is this about? Where are your examples and facts to back it up? Okay, what have we got here? Raylene. Hi, Raylene. Liza needs new pens. I've got heaps, Liza. Raylene. Hi, Leah. Why can people do it in the review and not before? I can never understand that. Look, I hear you, Raylene. It's really frustrating. It does happen way more than it should. I think the issue is, and, you know, wearing our empathy hat, putting ourselves in the shoes of these leaders and managers, to be honest, I think it is because people feel totally out of their depth, and these leaders are not confident having a difficult conversation. Okay, a lot of us don't like conflict. A lot of us don't like confrontation. And a lot of leaders are promoted to leadership on the back of their technical skills and experience, and have never been taught how to lead, and have never been taught the stuff that I'm teaching now around communication and how to do that effectively and how to have those difficult conversations. And unfortunately, that has massive impacts on the leaders themselves and the people in their teams, because the leaders then see poor behavior but don't know how to address it, don't want to raise it, oh, rock the boat, but then performance review, and then they think, oh, so this is my moment, I can finally tell them that's what this review, that's what this meeting's for. So then it all comes gushing out, and it's so unfair. It's so unfair on everyone. That said, performance reviews are for addressing performance. So if you haven't been performing, absolutely, that should be addressed in a performance review. I'm not saying that shouldn't be addressed. It should be part of the performance review, but it really shouldn't be the first that you're hearing it. There should be these conversations earlier. But I to be honest, I don't think for most leaders, I'd say the vast majority of leaders, it's not a malicious thing. It's not that they're trying to throw you under a bus. It is that they feel ill-equipped. They're out of their depth. They are worried about what will happen if I have the difficult conversation. And here's the thing. This is what I said to the group yesterday. As scared as you might be to have a difficult conversation with one of your staff, you should be more scared about not having it. Because a lot of the time we think the worst that could happen would be to have the conversation and go badly, and this staff member who's being aggressive and not performing, or, you know, has put the whole team offside, they'll get upset, and that's the worst that could happen. Well, let me tell you what. The worst that could happen is not having the conversation. Because if we don't address poor performance, it thrives and it continues. And if one person's getting away with poor performance, other members of the team start picking it up too, because, geez, they're not getting called out, so I'll do it too. Or even worse, it creates that toxic environment where the good people leave because that poor performance isn't being called out. There's stress leave, there's sick leave, there's complaints to HR. Your life will be so much more difficult if you don't have this difficult conversation and address the elephant in the room. So, to all of you out there, I encourage you, I implore you, address the elephant, whether that's in your personal relationships or your professional ones. When you address the elephant, when you have that difficult conversation, you have a chance of solving it. And usually when you address the elephant, it shrinks in size, okay? But ignoring it will just make it grow. So thank you, everyone. I am going to say ciao for now. However, there are 3 tickets left to next week's workshop, Effective Communication, Developing Assertiveness. It's at the Mercure in Warragul. It includes a copy of my book, morning tea, afternoon tea, lunch, and a pen. And I'd love to see you there. We've got a great group, mixed gender so far. It's about even Stevens, which is going to be awesome. Now, if you have been watching most weeks and have a question you've been sitting on, I encourage you to send it through to me for next week's Ask Leah, because after that, I'm heading away for 5 weeks. Yes, I am putting my oxygen mask on and heading away on a family road trip for 5 weeks, from the 1st of July till the 1st of August. So you may get an Ask Leah from Uluru or even Darwin, but you may not as well. So if you have a question, make sure you get it through so I can answer it next week, when I can guarantee you I will be here. All the best, folks. Have a great rest of the week, and I'll see you next week. Bye.